Grace Life. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. I'm running a little bit behind, a little bit slow today because we partied like it was 1999 last night at the Lamb House. We celebrated Sweet 16 for Smiley Kylie, and we had a big time. Hey, listen, I hope you guys are going to be able to make it here today because I'm finishing up the message series of part 2, or let me just say part 2 of the message series, Are We There Yet? And I believe that you guys probably got a lot out of it last week if you listened to it, because after all, it's the Bible, right? So you can't go wrong with the Bible. But we was talking about groppers and whiners and complainers with Moses leading the children of Israel. And today we're finishing that up. And we're talking about two things that's going to be very tough for some of us: humility and hope. Humility is hard to come by because people nowadays, we're taught to have all this self-confidence and all that, and it's like egotistic mania is going on. And I want you to understand something, that humility is not something where you're beat down. Humility is where you're more Christ-like in your life. And then hope, the other side of the spectrum, or the other side of the ditch here, is some people have no hope, and they're just down and out and depressed, and we have hope in Christ. So if you're looking for hope, then this is the place to be. Service starts here in just a little bit, but somebody just texted me a minute ago, said, hey, I didn't realize that service started at 10. That guy lives about 40 minutes away. I said, come on, man. I said, everything will be good to go, and you'll be a part of the service, and you'll hear a life-changing message, hopefully, and God will do some wonderful things. Hey, listen, last week I had a special guest on, and man, I'm going to tell you, it was just kind of impromptu. And I'm telling you, more people have asked for Joe Pat to come back to be on camera with me than anybody I've ever had. Now, I'm not knocking those of you that's been in this seat, okay? But it's kind of like that Saturday Night Live skit, Kyle. Yeah. You know, like where he says more cowbell, yeah. You know, where they're playing, and it's Will Ferrell hitting the cowbell or whatever. And they said, hey, listen, we need more cowbell. Well, people last week were saying more Joe Pat. So listen, Joe Pat, come on in, man. Come on in. Listen, have a seat. I never knew that you were this popular. I didn't know that.
You can't be 80 without being popular.
You're popular. You know a lot of people. And hey, let me just ask you a couple of questions, because this is a little bit more informal today than it usually is. Not that it's very formal.
Oh, okay.
All right, you know.
Yeah.
So the building, man, a lot of progress has been made on the building this past week.
A lot of it.
Yeah. Put the ductwork in yesterday. Yeah. Started painting on the ductwork.
Yeah.
You're rolling along with electrical.
Yeah.
Yeah, and carpet's going in this week.
Got lights on.
Lights are on. All the offices and the nursery and all that stuff. Children's Church have all their lights in.
Yeah.
So this week we should have all concrete floors done. The stained concrete floors, the polished concrete floors. We'll have all the carpet pretty much at least half done. They may not get all done this week, but they'll get most of it.
Which end are we starting at?
Hey, I think we're going to start back there in that worship area.
No, that's not good.
Brace yourself. Brace yourself. This may not be a good response.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like
Here we go.
the up high part is not done, and now we're finished down on the bottom.
Yeah.
So we're going to mess that up.
You know, Jesus said the first shall be last and the last shall be first.
And I don't know how we got it backwards. I think somebody wasn't listening to us.
Oh, well, maybe we weren't listening to God. He's
Yeah.
the master craftsman, right? He was a
right.
carpenter, right?
He's
Jesus is a carpenter, yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll have to ask for forgiveness, I guess, because we didn't ask permission. I guess that's how it works. That don't work good, does it?
No. You know, I told you last week the math ain't right.
Math, fuzzy math. Hey, it's fuzzy math. Hey, but hey, I tell you something that's exciting. January the 31st. What's today? What's today's day?
22nd.
I don't even know what day it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
So not tomorrow, or not Tuesday, this Tuesday, but the next Tuesday, we're getting all of our chairs in. And so they're flying in from Utah, and they're shipping those trucks. We're shipping the chairs in by the trucks, and we're going to need a bunch of people to help unload 450 chairs. So if you can help us out, be watching for January the 31st. That's the days that the chairs arrive. And by the way, while I'm talking about it, we've been doing this thing called Chairs for Change or Change for Chairs or whatever, where people are sewing into those chairs above and beyond their tithe, by the way, and they're giving $80 for those chairs. That's what it costs. And so we've got quite a few people that's doing that. Like, you know, I know different people have come up and said, hey, I'm giving money for one chair. And it was a widow lady. And I said, well, bless your heart. And I couldn't help but think about the widow's mite that the Bible talks about. And there's been other people that said, I'm buying 20 chairs. And I said, well, you got 2 people in your family. They're like, yeah, but we want to see those 20 chairs filled up. And so if you want to do that, then you can drop off a check or cash or whatever, put an envelope, put for chairs. You can drop it off at the welcome area when you come into the church this morning or when you leave. Or you can go online. You can go online and go to mygracelife.church. That's the website. Go to the Give tab. And when you click on the Giving box, you can do a little drop down and it'll have a place for chairs that you can give to, okay? So you can do it that way.
But you can't take your salary and pay it forward on the chair.
Yeah.
Because 0 plus 0 is 0. And so I guess I got to rob bank to get some money to try to share it.
We're not paying him, and so, but what I've been telling him is he's getting a lot more pay when he goes to heaven. Not right? You're laying up treasures. You're going to have a big old mansion.
You're going to have a huge mansion.
Can I tell you a joke real quick?
You might, yeah, in a minute. You might build up treasures in heaven, but you can't go to heaven from spending money or giving money or nothing like that.
Right, it doesn't matter about that.
Got nothing to do with it.
No, it's all about grace.
Yeah.
Man, Joe Pat's preaching to me. Joe Pat, you told me to stay in my lane. I'm going to tell you to stay in your lane. I'm the preacher.
Well,
come on.
You're still in front of me. And you found out last week that I can't get around you anyway.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But I have lost about 8 pounds.
That's good.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
This joke, man. I love this joke.
Yeah,
I've told it a million times.
Give it to me.
Yeah, so somehow Rick Pitino died and got to heaven. This is when he was coach at Louisville.
I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, so he got up there and walked in, and St. Peter said, well, welcome, Mr. Pitino. And he said, well, man, he said, I'm glad to be here. He said, here's your mansion. St. Peter said, look, right here. And had this little mansion going on. All these Louisville Cardinal flags were flying. And he said, man, he said, Rick Pitino said, I didn't know John Calipari died. He said, whose house is that big one right up on the hill with all the UK flags? He said, I didn't know John died. And St. Peter said, that's not John Calipari's house. That's God's house up there.
Oh, gosh.
All of them are.
Well, I'm just saying that the UK flags were flying at God's house.
I didn't explain it.
Yeah. Listen, we ain't had our coffee this morning. All right? But, hey, listen, there's all kinds of things happening. Those ladies showed up again. Man, those ladies outworked the men in the church.
They're good, ain't they?
Come on. Those ladies worked Thursday night. I want to say a big thank you to all the ladies that are out there for helping out. Also, the men showed up to eat, but they didn't do much work. Am I lying or dying? I mean, they ate, but some of them did, all right? Yeah. Some of the men did. But the ladies are outshining. And listen, we've got just a few weeks, because here's the last thing I'm going to talk about. Listen, February 19th, in less than a month, okay? Like less than a month, 3.5 weeks. Or 4 weeks, we're moving in to the new location at 915 Paducah Road. 2 services. Everybody say 2 services.
2 services.
2 services, 9 o'clock and 10:30. Now, we're going to continue those 2 services. Some people have asked, is it just for that day? No, it's 9 and 10:30 from here on out. And here's the way I look at that is I want to make sure that we have a mindset that we're going to grow and we're never going to plateau and decline. And so I don't want to say we're going to have a big, big day and then we're going to go all the way back down. We need 1 service. No, I think, and that worship center is pretty good size.
It's big enough to do it, 2 services.
Yeah, it's big. It's big. So, but listen, we're going to do 9 and 10:30. That day we're going to have food trucks on the parking lot, 504 Po' Boys, and Creative Cooking's going to be there. And we're going to have a giveaway, a year's worth of Chick-fil-A. Listen, Mark Riley and them, they're phenomenal down there in Paducah, and who doesn't like some Christian chicken, amen? So you guys are going to have an opportunity to be a part of that. We're going to T-shirts, all kinds of goodies to give away. It's going to be a blowout day, February the 19th. Now, let me caution you on something. The inside will be done and by the hair of our chinny chin chin, some late hours, some Joanna Gaines late at night type of work ethic going on there to get it done. But the outside won't be completely done until the spring. It's just too wet.
Can't do it, not in the wintertime.
It's too wet. So like, it's kind of like this. See, some people look pretty on the outside and they've got bad on the inside.
That's correct.
But this church is going to look like me, right? Church is going to look like me. Ugly on the outside and clean on the inside.
If them ladies keep coming back, it will be clean inside.
It'll be clean inside. It'll be ready to roll. So as you see it develop, there'll be more things. We're stringing up Edison lights all around the building for patio seating, for fire pits, and how do you say that name of that chair?
Adirondack.
Adirondack. I can't ever say it. I need hooked on phonics. I can't even say. How you say that word? Exasperation. Exasperation.
That's exasperation.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
I was saying like exasperation or exasperation. You know, I can't even
It's
say it.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm 80 years old and never have had to say it.
You never have had to say it, have you?
Just don't say it.
Yeah. So anyway, hey, listen. All of this is through the faithfulness of your giving. We had 3 kids get saved last week. We had 10 people get saved the week before. We're getting ready to have a huge baptism. So we're pretty pumped up about that. And it's all because of you that we can see some of those things happening, because your faithfulness of bringing back to God what's rightfully His. That's the tithe. That's 10% that we set aside. And so if you would, just be faithful in that area. And I believe this is what my pastor always used to say. If God's people would just tithe, we've got all the money in the world to reach as many people as possible. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm tired and I'm really sick at my stomach at seeing Hollywood spend millions and billions of dollars reaching our kids. And I just wish the Christians would rise up. If Christians would just bind together and we'd pull our time and our resources and our finances and all that together, we would be the most unstoppable force in the world. But it starts with you. Starts with you. You can't wait for somebody else. A lot of times when I'm talking, everybody's looking around like, who's he talking about? I'm talking to you. And I want you to just be faithful, because here's the deal. I'm telling you, I have watched God's economy. I've been a financial advisor. My wife's a CPA. Joe Pat, I'm telling you, I have never seen a time when people were faithful to God and giving to where God didn't bless their socks off.
That's correct.
And it may not be necessarily monetary blessings, but it could be other things. So, 3 ways to give. You can text to give. You can text the word grace followed by an amount to 77296. You can give by cash or check when you're in person in the worship service, which we'd rather you be in person. Or you can go online to mygracelife.church, go to the give tab, and you can give that way. By the way, one more thing real quick. If you want to stay in line and stay in queue with our church happenings, I should say, then you can text the word grace to 270-560-0077. 270-560-0077. Just text the word grace, hit send, and we'll send you a little thing back. You fill that out, then you'll be in the Texan Church queue service. Man, it's been a busy few days.
Ain't done yet.
No, it ain't done yet. We're fixing to go out here and shuck the corn, man. We're going to preach the word, and I believe God's going to change lives. It's going to be another powerful service. I think Jace and his team's in there ready to roll. They seem to be ready. I heard them practicing.
Sounded like when I heard them practice.
Sound pretty good, didn't it?
Did great.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, we can't wait to see you